2024 can begin.
Yes, now it can officially begin. We're together.
Yes.
Seth MacFarlane, welcome back to The
pleasure,
Tonight Show.
a pleasure.
I always love having you on. I love picking your brain about different things and talking. Last time we talked about the Orville,
Yes.
which I'm a fan of, and it came from your love of Star Trek.
Yes, it did.
And we talked about all that, and I go, yeah. And then I heard of this rumor that there was footage of you make a video in college, an episode of Star Trek.
That might be true.
I know for a fact it's true because we're going to show it right now.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're real serious.
Yeah.
Dude, not bad. This is... Oh. Look at that guy.
That's my friend John Parley. He's on TV. Does he know he's going to be on TV?
No, he has no idea.
So you don't have to clear that. You don't have to call like...
No. you are the person we have to call.
It is. Okay.
You are...
So, John, Anouk, thanks for being good sports. You're on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Never thought that was going to happen, right?
My God.
What comes to mind when you watch that and you go, oh, yeah?
First of all, I don't know how they constructed whatever was on my head. But yeah, what comes to mind is like I wish I had the future knowledge of aging to say, go down to the corner store, get a bag of Chips Ahoy, and eat it all in one sitting because it's the only time you're going to be able to do it.
Metabolism changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I just love seeing those things like that because look at you now. It's pretty fun. I want to talk to you about this. You executive producing an animated version of Good Times. And the late Norman Lear, who created the original, was also an EP on the show. Did you ever get to meet him? What was he like?
I knew him very well. Yeah, he was one of my idols. He was one of the reasons that I came out to Hollywood and became a writer. He was somebody, I don't know who it was, after he passed away, said he was always the youngest guy in the room, which is 100% true.
That's so funny.
And my favorite story of his. Because you look at all these television writers who came out of the Second World War and got into TV writing, which doesn't seem to happen anymore. It's like you come back from, we're like segmented. But at the time, it was, these guys would come out of World War II and they would write for things like The Twilight Zone and Dick Van Dyke Show and whatnot. And I asked him, you got to tell me about your experience as a member of the flight crew in World War II, because he ran all these he was on all these missions, flying over the English Channel, bombing the Nazis. At the time, we all agreed Nazis were bad, and
we still.
And I said, "You got to tell me about that." And he said, I said, "What's something that you think that maybe I wouldn't know, or that's a really personal thing?" And he said, there were times when you got on that plane, and you took off, you flew across the Channel, you dropped your bombs on Germany, and you were with a crew that you didn't really know all that well, and that's when it was the toughest. And other times it was with guys that you really knew well, and that's when it was, it was not bad but not as bad.
Smoother, yeah.
And I was like, only the greatest comedy writer of all time would say, I bombed the Nazis and the worst part was the social anxiety.
Getting to know.
I don't know if that's what he meant, but that's how I took it. I miss
brilliant
him.
man.
I miss him very much.
I want to talk about Ted, your new series. This is on Thursday on Peacock. This is the prequel to the movies, the Ted movies. I love both films. This is set in 1993. Is there anything else we can say about this?
It's Ted. It's 1993. It's on Peacock.
I said that, yeah. I said that. You said that.
Somebody,
already.
I was on. The guy who wrote this is going to love it. I was on Line the other day, and somebody commented on one of our trailers, like, "Will it also be on Poopcock?"
That means
find out who this guy is
and
get him on
hire him right now. Yeah,
right now.
You want to write for 5 shows? That's my sense of humor.
I shouldn't appreciate that as much as I do, but God.
Did you know, Ted, like when you're selling the movie, did you know that it was going to be a hit? And it was so funny and so well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. No, when I was making the movie, Bridesmaids had just come out, and it was a huge hit.
Fantastic.
And I was just haunted by Bridesmaids because this movie is hilarious.
Yeah, it's too funny.
My movie's gonna suck.
Yeah, but it didn't.
And we managed to pull it through.
You crushed it. But is it odd to selling it to a studio and going like, so the teddy bear talks?
Yeah.
And that's just, and he's just totally like he drinks beer and like.
It was a lot of permutation. At one point, it was gonna be like a hand puppet because nobody wanted to pay the money for the CGI. It was a lot. At one point, it was going to be PG-13, which would have been a disaster.
That wouldn't have worked either.
It wouldn't have worked.
It all works perfect.
Yeah.
This is great, and you're the voice of Ted. Very great Boston accent, but you're also one of the many voices of Family Guy and American Dad. And I always I do this to you, and you can always say no, but it's too late now. Tonight, I really would love it if I threw out a topic. Maybe we could hear what each of these characters have to say. Maybe their New Year's resolution.
Is it this camera? Is it camera one?
Yes, camera one.
All right.
There we go. First one, Peter Griffin.
What, his New Year's resolution?
His New Year's resolution.
I'm going to start by shoplifting from Wetzel's Pretzels.
Wetzel's Pretzels.
I'm going to shoplift from Wetzel's Pretzels, because, like, what are they going to do? Like, jump over the counter and kill me for a pretzel? No. You don't have the guts to kill me, Wetzel's Pretzels.
Oh, my God. All right, how about Wetzel's Pretzels? How about Stewie Griffin?
Starting today, no more diaper. No more diaper. I'm going to hold it. So maybe 2025.
He almost did it.
He almost
got there. Wow. How about Brian Griffin?
I'm going to quit smoking and start vaping.
New Year's resolution. How about Quagmire?
I'm going to get unbanned from Hinge. All right.
How about Seamus?
Do you guys even know who Seamus is?
Yeah.
Do you? The guy with the peg arms and the peg legs?
Yeah.
How many of you know who Seamus is? Oh, wow. I do not have enough faith in this show. I want to get into yoga so I can stretch my pegs.
Thank you, Seamus. How about Stan Smith?
I'm going to turn Guantanamo Bay into an Airbnb.
Good idea. How about Roger from American Dad?
I'm going to join a gym so I can do something about these man boobs.
And finally, what is Ted's New Year's resolution?
You know, I want to travel more, because I've been meaning to visit your mother's bedroom.
Come on now! Who else can do that? Who else? Seth MacFarlane. Who else can do that? That's unbelievable, buddy. Thank you for doing that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I want to show a clip. It's very, very funny. Here's Seth MacFarlane in Ted. Take a look at this.
Should we say grace?
Oh, yeah, good idea. Hello, God. It's me, Ted. One of your weirder creations. Sorry about what I said today. Not that your deacons aren't attractive, but I'm saving my mouth for marriage. Let us not be so high that we have to call an ambulance. Amen.
Amen. Okay. Let there be light.
Come on! What is it? Seth MacFarlane, everybody. All episodes of Ted are available this Thursday on Peacock.